Plant once, harvest for 10 generations sounds hard to believe, but the 10 food-producing plants I'm about to reveal can actually survive up to 300 years. If you want to save time, cut expenses, and create a legacy food source for your family, this is the video for you. Plant them now and you're establishing a self-sustaining system that can endure for 3 centuries. And don't skip plant number 7. It might totally transform how you view gardening. 1. Mulberry. The store-proof superfood. Mulberries are the ultimate rebel fruit of the homestead. You will rarely find these in a grocery store because they are far too fragile to survive a supply chain. They bruise if you even glance at them wrong, which is precisely why they are a treasure for your backyard. While the world depends on tough, flavorless commercial fruit, you'll be gathering a forgotten superfood that is so amazingly sweet and packed with nutrients. A single mature tree can deliver 50 to 80 pounds of berries each summer. They provide the fastest return in the tree world, often producing fruit within 3 to 5 years, while an apple tree might force you to wait a decade. Best of all, they are truly indestructible. Poor soil, severe drought, or total neglect, the mulberry simply doesn't mind. It grows rapidly and needs zero pruning or pest control. In parts of Central Asia, dried mulberries remain a winter staple, containing nearly 10% protein, an impressive achievement for any fruit. It's the effortless tree that keeps producing for 50-plus years. 2. Hazelnut, the pantry-stable powerhouse. While most fruit trees offer sugar and water, the hazelnut delivers something far more crucial for long-term survival: caloric density. In a world where fat and protein are the toughest nutrients to obtain, these trees are like nature's own energy storage units. A single pound of hazelnuts contains approximately 2,800 calories when you calculate it. A mature tree generating 30 pounds of nuts is basically supplying 84,000 calories at your doorstep every single year. Hazelnuts are amazingly tough, flourishing in temperate climates and enduring varied soil conditions. They are the early risers of the nut world, often yielding within 3 to 4 years of planting. The truly real magic, however, lies in their storage longevity. These nuts stay pantry stable in their shells for over a year without any refrigeration. Historically, they rescued European communities during grain shortages, supplying the essential fats required to endure brutal winters. I know it can feel daunting to think about food security, but planting just 2 different varieties for cross-pollination is an easy step that transforms everything. You aren't just gardening, you're constructing a safety net. Are you someone who favors preparing for the future rather than merely living for today? If you're prepared to begin your legacy, just comment "ready" below, so I know we're on this path together. 3. Fig trees. The timeless emblem of abundance. Figs have been the foundation of food security for thousands of years, appearing in nearly every ancient text as an emblem of prosperity. There is a very practical explanation for this. Fig trees are ridiculously productive and virtually unkillable. A single mature tree can produce 100 to 200 pounds of fruit yearly, thriving in rocky soil and blistering heat where other trees wither. Think about that one neighbor or grandparent who always seemed to have a bowl of fruit on the counter, no matter how parched the summer was or how steep prices climbed at the store. Usually it was due to a twisted old fig tree in the corner of the yard that everyone overlooked until it was time to eat. While others were stressing about the cost of snacks, they were drying figs for the winter nature's original energy bar. The genuine survival value is in the dried fruit. At 1,200 calories per pound, dried figs supply the minerals and energy required to keep a family going when the pantry grows empty. They are definitely amazingly quick to produce, often fruiting within 2 to 3 years. If you feel like you're falling behind on your goals, the fig tree is the quickest way to recover. It's a low-effort legacy that you can begin today from a simple cutting. 4. Apple trees. The northern survival essential. While tropical fruits receive all the attention, there is one modest giant that has preserved more lives during frigid winters than any other tree in history. Apples are so ordinary that we frequently undervalue their sheer power as a massive food production system. Once mature, a single productive tree can generate a staggering 200 to 400 pounds of fruit yearly. The genuine survival value of the apple lies in its extended storage and remarkable versatility. Before modern grocery stores existed, apples were the main source of nutrition and vitamin C throughout the brutal winter months when kept in cool, dark conditions. Certain apple varieties can remain fresh for 3 to 6 months if you dehydrate them. They last over a year. If you ferment them into cider, they can be preserved indefinitely, while they demand a bit of patience, requiring 6 to 10 years to reach full production and usually needing a second variety nearby for cross-pollination. The investment is unmatched. A family with just 4 mature trees can gather nearly 800 pounds of food every year. This is absolutely a dependable, cold, hardy legacy that will deliver food security for 50 to 80 years with minimal effort. If you want to quit being dependent on fragile food systems and begin building a productive legacy for your family, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm sharing the precise blueprints for long-term self-sufficiency that most people have forgotten. 5. The persimmon, the sugar tree of survival. The persimmon is often called the divine fruit for a reason. It is one of the few trees that delivers a massive burst of sugar and energy precisely when the rest of nature is winding down. As other food sources disappear in late autumn and early winter, the persimmon stands heavy with bright orange fruit, often clinging to its crop even after the first snowfall. A single, mature tree can generate up to 150 to 300 pounds of fruit annually, transforming your backyard into a seasonal treasure of vitamins A and C. What distinguishes the persimmon in a survival scenario is its effortless preservation. These fruits are incredibly rich in natural sugars. When dried, they develop a white sugary coating and a consistency like a chewy date lasting for over a year without any chemical preservatives. Historically, soldiers and travelers packed dried persimmons as a lightweight, high-energy ration that wouldn't decay. They are notably hardy, resisting most pests and diseases that afflict other fruit trees. While they take about 4 to 6 years to fruit, they are a low-effort plant and forget investment. By planting a persimmon, you are locking in a reliable source of sweetness and survival energy that arrives every year like clockwork, right when you need it most. We've officially completed half the list, but the real surprises are just ahead because the next few trees don't just deliver snacks, they deliver the survival essentials of fat, timber, and massive calorie loads that can support an entire community through the harshest winters. 6. Chestnut trees. The bread that sprouts from branches. For centuries, the chestnut was known as the bread tree across Europe and Asia because it accomplishes something no other nut tree can. It produces grain-like nutrition on a massive scale. Unlike most nuts that are high in fat, chestnuts are distinctive. They are packed with complex carbohydrates. A mature tree can generate 200 to 400 pounds of starchy, filling nuts that are basically potatoes in a shell dangling from a branch. The survival value here is unequaled for a long-term calorie source. You can roast them, boil them, or most importantly, mill them into a gluten-free flour that keeps for months. In mountain communities where wheat failed to grow, chestnut forests sustained people alive during every major famine in history. While they take 5 to 7 years to begin producing, you are planting a 300-year legacy with modern, blight-resistant varieties. This bread tree is the ultimate safeguard for your family's food security. If you're gaining value in learning how to construct a food legacy that endures centuries, hit the like button, right now. It helps this information reach more people who are exhausted of being dependent on the grocery store. 7. Carob trees, the drought-resistant chocolate pods. As I mentioned at the very start, there is one tree that generates hundreds of pounds of chocolate-flavored pods every year, and this is it. The carob tree is a survivalist's fantasy, flourishing in extreme heat and rocky soils that would destroy almost any other fruit tree. While everyone else is battling to keep their gardens alive during a drought, the carob is busy generating 200 to 400 pounds of naturally sweet pods that can be consumed raw or ground into a tasty cocoa alternative. The reason this tree is quite remarkable is its incredible shelf life. Carob pods are naturally low in moisture, meaning they can keep for 2 to 3 years in a cool, dry place with zero processing or costly equipment. They are 50% natural sugar, delivering immediate energy when you need it most. Historically, these pods were used as emergency rations during long sieges and famines because they simply don't decay, while they take about 6 to 8 years to establish. A single carob tree is a 100-year investment in a sweet, calorie-packed future that demands almost no maintenance from you. If you're gaining value in learning how to construct a food legacy that endures centuries, hit the like button right now. It helps this information reach more people who are exhausted of being dependent on the grocery store. 8. Walnut trees, the dark gold of the homestead. Walnut trees are the ultimate dual-purpose investment for any long-term food system, supplying one of the toughest nutrients to secure in a self-sufficient lifestyle. Healthy, calorie-packed fats. A single mature walnut tree can generate 50 to 80 pounds of nuts per year, which translates to a staggering 150,000 to 240,000 calories from just one tree. In a survival situation where meat and dairy might be limited, these nuts become a critical pillar of your diet. Walnuts are nutritional titans, packed with omega-3 fatty acids and protein. Their natural design is a survivalist's fantasy. The hard shell serves as a protective container, allowing the nuts to remain fresh and edible for over a year without any refrigeration. Beyond the food, you are growing a literal inheritance. High-quality walnut timber is incredibly valuable, often worth thousands of dollars per tree once mature. While they demand patience, taking 6 to 10 years to begin producing, they can live and nourish your family for 150 to 200 years. By planting a walnut today, you are establishing a biological bank account that yields annual dividends in nutrition and a final massive payout in timber for your descendants. 9. Oak trees, the ancient calorie powerhouse. Oak trees are frequently viewed only as shade trees or sources of lumber, but for thousands of years, they were the primary calorie source for entire civilizations. Unlike many fruit trees that demand constant pruning and care, the oak is a plant-and-forget survival system that generates a massive abundance of acorns. A single mature oak can drop anywhere from 200 to 1,000 pounds of nuts in a good year, supplying a staggering volume of food for zero labor. While many people believe acorns are inedible, they are actually nutrient-packed powerhouses filled with complex carbohydrates and healthy fats. Most varieties contain tannins that make them bitter, but a simple water-leaching process, something our ancestors mastered millennia ago, transforms them into a mild, versatile flour. This acorn flour can be utilized for bread, porridge, or even a coffee alternative. The oak's genuine strength is its resilience. It is one of the toughest trees on Earth, capable of enduring storms, pests and droughts that would annihilate a commercial orchard. While it takes 20 to 30 years to reach peak production, an oak tree is a true legacy species, often living for 200 to 500 years. When you plant an oak, you aren't just planting a tree. You are creating a permanent, self-sustaining food forest that will nourish your community for centuries after you're gone. 10. The pecan tree, the ultimate calorie monarch. The pecan tree is far more than a landscape giant. It is a massive calorie powerhouse, standing right in your backyard. A single, mature tree can generate between 200 to 400 pounds of nuts annually. Packed with healthy fats and essential proteins, one tree provides enough energy to sustain a small family during food shortages. What makes the pecan a survival champion is its natural shelf life. Shielded by a thick, hardy shell, these nuts remain nutrient-dense for up to 2 years without modern refrigeration. Historically, indigenous people depended on pecans as a strategic resource because they are so incredibly lightweight for transport, yet incredibly high in energy. While it demands patience taking 7 to 10 years to fruit, the investment pays off for centuries. Pecan trees can live for 200 to 300 years, outlasting generations. By planting a pecan, you aren't just growing food. You are establishing a biological inheritance. You are securing a permanent, self-sustaining food source that will nourish your great-grandchildren long after you are gone. Constructing a food legacy isn't about short-term gains, it's about shifting your mindset from a consumer to a producer. These trees, from the bread of the chestnut to the liquid gold of the maple, represent more than just calories. They represent genuine independence. While the modern food system depends on fragile supply chains and rising prices, a backyard filled with these survival giants stands as a permanent self-renewing fortress against uncertainty. Remember, you don't need a massive orchard to begin. Even planting just 1 or 2 of these legacy trees this season can transform the future for your family. You are trading a little bit of space and patience today for a lifetime of security and a gift that will nourish your descendants for a century or more. Which of these survival giants are you planning to plant first? Drop a comment below and let's discuss the best varieties for your climate. If you found this guide helpful, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us keep sharing the knowledge you need to build a truly self-sufficient future.